Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Only one way to start this video, let's frickin' go. Twitter is becoming the place to be. Pay attention folks, because the game is changing and the game is changing fast. This Elon Musk takeover at Twitter just got a whole lot more interesting. We've been hearing all kinds of talks, or mostly requests from the community, to add more video capabilities on the Twitter platform, to expand the platform away from just tweets and compete in the video sphere, with options to monetize, essentially a direct competitor to the current monopoly in the game, which is obviously YouTube. Ask and you shall receive. Elon Musk is taking action, with of course Tucker Carlson being that key catalyst. We reported a couple days ago on the reports that supposedly Tucker and Elon are working together on a project, or at least in communication. Today the news drops. Tucker Carlson is moving his new show, his new segment, basically the same thing that he was doing at Fox News, not to another bogus network, but straight to Twitter. Power to produce content is no longer something that only the mainstream media is capable of doing. Media executives are now panicking, trust me when I say that, as the little guy, the little independent guys, start taking over the game. Tucker is no longer a mainstream media talking head. He's an independent guy like us, and this changes the game for good. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so the biggest news possibly of the year. Take a look at this straight from the source, right from Tucker Carlson's Twitter account.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. You often hear people say the news is full of lies, but most of the time that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own fact checks. Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true. It's not true. At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind. Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated. How does that work? Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie. He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say. But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not. I'm misleading you. And that's what the news media are doing in every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year. What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it. That's not a guess, it's guaranteed. Every person who works in English language media understands that. The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy. That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments. Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter, where we are now. Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops. Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here, and we think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets. You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter. The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge. We think that's a bad system. We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others. See you soon.
He's officially bringing his show to the Twitter platform. Twitter's officially becoming a big player in the video game. I'm seriously looking forward to this. If I'm not mistaken, I think I just passively read this at some point. But I think Matt Walsh is also headed to Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. Clearly something's going on here and people are gravitating towards a free speech alternative. And honestly, I'm glad that it's Twitter, not just because Elon Musk is running the platform, more specifically because Twitter's the place when it comes to politics and news. And so if there's one place that needs to be a free speech platform, platform. It's Twitter. That's where the discussion is happening, and now even beyond that, we're now going to have news segments there as well. I was hoping for two outcomes. Either Tucker Carlson and Elon Musk were teaming up together to start a network to combat Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, the rest of these legacy media holes, or for Tucker to go independent. Honestly, on second thought, I think this is probably the best option. Initially, I was hoping that he would take it to Fox and launch his own network and pretty much demolish them and steal their entire audience. But I think in terms of the long run, this is the best option. We shouldn't be competing with these legacy news networks by entering the legacy news network sphere. What we should be doing, what makes a whole lot more sense, what's 10 times smarter, isn't beating them at their own game, but rather playing the game better. You know, a couple more moves like this, and eventually it's going to be game over for the mainstream media. They just simply won't be able to keep up. People don't watch Fox News because they're loyal to Rupert Murdoch. They watch Fox for Tucker. Well, now people like Tucker Carlson and possibly others are realizing that they don't need Fox to have the platform. That's a realization that our generation has made already, but now even the boomers are catching on. And I don't know if Fox is ever going to be able to recover. I mean, speaking of Fox, ever since Tucker left, this is probably the most embarrassing headline that has ever existed for the entire network. A whole lot more embarrassing than having to pay an $800 million settlement. Jen Psaki beats Fox News and CNN, scores weekend ratings win for MSNBC. You got that right. Jen Psaki is currently beating Fox. I can't think of anything more embarrassing than that, except for maybe one thing, and that would be Fox News losing to Karine Jean-Pierre in a primetime slot for MSNBC. I have literally never felt more confident that we are winning than how I feel right now. In fact, I'm more invigorated than ever. I mean, Tucker might be seriously changing the game here. Even I'm thinking at the back of my mind that this is probably going to change the landscape and I'm going to have to start adapting. All of a sudden, I feel motivated to start growing my Twitter following, and those are words that I don't think have ever come out of my mouth. I'm also thinking, hey, maybe if Twitter becomes a platform, I could maybe start doing some live streams there and expanding my network. You know, these are thoughts that in the past wouldn't have existed, but now all of a sudden it seems more enticing. I don't think I'm the only person thinking that. In fact, probably thousands upon thousands of people, and especially content creators, are probably thinking the exact same thing, that Twitter is where it's at for growth, and most likely, the platform is going to see a boom as it develops this new identity. Oh, and as usual, as I have Twitter open on my other screen, perfectly timed, CNN just released this article. Right-wing extremist Tucker Carlson will relaunch his program on Twitter, a platform he praised as the only remaining large free speech platform in the world after Fox News fired him last month. If CNN is running propaganda pieces labeling Tucker Carlson a right-wing extremist, well then you know the mainstream media is panicking. Quick, deploy the hit pieces. They know their days are numbered. The legacy media is in freefall. We're moving into the true age of independent media. It's a beautiful thing to see. Tucker is back. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you guys are up for it. Of course, you know that we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.